Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's I'm serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
It is going down. It is going down today, Tuesday, August 2nd. It is going down on We Got Issues. It is going down on 9:10 a.m., the Superstation. It's going down in Detroit. It's going down in California. It's going down in Ohio. It's going down in Baltimore. Oh my gosh, you have us live today. Welcome to We Got Issues. We got a little bit of feedback. I know Michael, our boy, is working that out in the background. And live on the show today, it is Katrina Harris Earl, your host today, and it is Sabrina Goodwin Monday. Can you give a shout out for hats? I just want to know. Call us if you love a hat. If you love a hat, you know, hats are great when you want to give your hair a break, but hats also bring the style, bring the fashion. Where are my boys at that love the hats? Where are my girls at that love the hats? Where do you get good hats? Okay, we want to know. Give us a call today, 313-778-7600. If you're listening on the radio, you're like, what's she talking about? If you are on Facebook, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm rocking a red hat and Sabrina's walking a white hat. So it is a hat kind of day, but we are so happy that you are tuned in to us. We want to thank you for all of our loyal listeners. And we want to thank Michael and the entire staff at 9:10 a.m., the Superstation, that held it down. We know there was even a tournament last week, and we appreciate you for flowing with us through our schedule. We want to thank Dorothy, our producer, for holding it down. We have some exciting things coming up, so stay tuned. Make sure you visit theforceoffriendship.com. Make sure you're on our mailing list, because I promise you it's coming. I know we've been talking about it's coming. And we open, we close, we open, and then we close a little bit. So we are looking for the perfect time for events and all of the great things we have to look forward to. But tune in every day right here, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Today, we are talking about something we love to do, and it's really so important. And, you know, it can be a little bit Pollyanna as we talk about it, but we're going to go deeper and talk about the power of affirmation. Literally, you can shift someone's future. You can shift their destiny, their whole future, just with the words that you say. It could be a short word you said. I mean, I could think back to a 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Flores, that spoke some positive words to me. I don't know where she is. I don't know anything about her, but I can remember exactly where I was standing when she said those positive words to me. My father's gone home to be with the Lord. I could think about positive words that he said to me throughout my life. So whether it's someone you meet and you just pass by them on the street and they tell you how great you're looking, or whether it's your child that you get to speak into on a daily and regular basis, grown kids or babies, even when they're in the womb, they say that the words you speak matter. So we're going to talk about words. And honestly, I don't know anybody who's better than these girlfriends right here at the Power of Affirmation. We did a whole lot of that this past week. We were at a major conference, and so I'm going to check in with Sabrina, and I just want to know, we are out of practice from heels. I can't get enough lidocaine. Sabrina, how you doing? How your feet doing? My feet are still swollen, blisters on every toe, but it's what we do to look good, to feel good, and to make others feel good. How you doing, Sabrina? Goodwin Monday. You got to unmute here on up in here.
I'm so good, Katrina. We want to thank our guests.
I can't hear you.
You still can't hear me? Okay, we're doing so good, Katrina. We want to thank our guest host who filled in, Brother Elam. I mean, he was excellent. I heard everybody loved him as usual. My sister, State Representative Regina T. Goodwin, and Janetti Marshall, school board member in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They brought the information, the education. So we are always thanking those who fill in the gap so that we can do what we do on We Got Issues. Today, we're talking words that work. Call in to 313-778-7600. Tell us who has spoken life into you. You know, the Bible even talks about speaking life into yourself and not death. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm excited about that topic. It is not Pollyannish. It is powerful. It is real. It is for real. So I'm doing so much better because, girl, I was so broke down. 3 years without being in a major conference, wearing heels. I said energy, high heels and high energy for 5 days straight. That thing broke me down. So somebody, my group, amongst other gifts, they had gifted me this phenomenal gift certificate to a spa. I knew I wasn't going to get in today. But can you believe I called them at 11:30 and they said I could come at 1 o'clock? I got a massage, hot stone. That was fabulous. Like you, my feet were swollen. Everything on me was swollen. And then I got a facial. I hadn't had a facial in so long. And, you know, they got all this newfangled stuff. I mean, Katrina, have you ever had that facial where it's like they run a vacuum sweeper over your face?
No,
it was amazing.
I'm getting it. What's it called? What's it called?
Okay. It was a Hydra facial. But the tools that they used, I mean, it was amazing. And so I don't have any makeup on now, but look at this glow. Ain't this a nice glow?
It's glowing.
It is glowing, girl. No makeup.
What full foundation? Okay.
Nothing. Zero. Because honestly, I have not worn that much makeup in 3 years. Every day, full face stage makeup. I was feeling like, oh my, this is so much. I mean, we look good, but girl, it was like a lot. And so I'm so glad that I got my face squeaky clean and I feel amazing. I mean, the swelling's going down. I mean, women, self-care is everything. So get your coins together. It's Leo season. My birthday is in a few days. It is Leo season, baby. Leo season. So all the Leos, happy birthday. But yeah, girl, I'm feeling better because I spent half the day at the spa. So all is well.
Okay, so I'm going to definitely get the after the show so I can make my appointment. And we need to do a show on getting red carpet ready because a lot of people, everybody at some point in their life needs to be red carpet ready. We are fortunate enough to have to do that, to get to do that regularly. And some of us even more than others. If you follow us on social media, you got to follow us on social media just to see the gowns, to see the dress, to see, I mean, even our breakfast attire. People are like, how are you? No, this breakfast is like, you know, red carpet ready. And so we got to do a show on that, right? Just to talk about what that whole thing is like. It takes a village. The news, Sabrina. Nancy Pelosi's in Taiwan. An Al-Qaeda leader got taken out, and COVID and monkeypox on the rage. What's on your mind? I mean, you know, stepping back out of the bubble into the real world.
Yeah.
What have you heard?
Yeah. Well, first, I loved having a news cleanse. I am a news junkie, so I'm always plugged in. My husband is even more of a news junkie because I have to give it a break. But being at this conference, our annual conference, I just stepped away. I didn't have time to have any news. Thank you, Maureen. My birthday is August 7th. Yes. We're celebrating all month. Maureen said that orange was fire for the breakfast. And so at our conference, I had no time for news. And honestly, it was really good to be so far removed from reality that it was a happy place. It was a great place. But then to come back into reality, we got a lot going on in the world. I'm trying to figure out, why is Nancy Pelosi over in China if they don't want her over there? Katrina, explain that to me.
No, she's in Taiwan, and Taiwan wants her there. But China threatened and said if Nancy Pelosi puts her feet in Taiwan, then it puts a threat. I mean, can somebody who is either listening or out there, can someone call in and just talk about words, read us the words that China put out when Nancy Pelosi landed, which was interesting because you could see she landed at night. It was dark. There weren't a lot of lights. After she landed, they lit up the USA flag on her plane. But before that, I'm sure it was like, you know, coming in like a stealth. But those words that China said, that, you know, they consider this a threat because apparently China they want to take Taiwan and they want to take that territory. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know it has a lot to do with the chips everything that is made in the world depends on that chip, and the person who holds the chips holds the power right about now. I know that's probably simple oversimplification, but that's a big thing they say. And China wants to invade Taiwan and take that territory, just like Russia with Ukraine, y'all. So I mean, this is, this is not just politics, this is our livelihood. This is huge. China threatening the US.
Right.
And we just took out an Al-Qaeda leader. I mean, this is like, you can't afford to not pay any attention to it, because it's crazy. So, and honestly, living on the West Coast, the closest part of that Asia Pacific, you stay really woke. And so they just consider that to be a direct threat. But it's very interesting to see. The USA was like, no, we will not be threatened. You told her not to go, but you ain't the boss of me. You ain't the boss of us. So
Right. And then prayers go out to all of our friends in Kentucky. I mean, that water, all the deaths, all the destruction from water in Kentucky. I'm just like, Lordy.
I just, having, my only introduction to the Midwest being in Chicago and being in California, where literally now we have a new fire that is just so terrible. We just keep talking about it over and over, but how can people deny climate change? And how I just like, how does all that water do? I understand how the water does all that damage, but it seems unfathomable to me when I see how high it is. And it's just, I can't understand exactly how it happens, but I know it happens. And it's just devastating. The 4 babies that the mama and dad were holding on to, our heart goes out. Just so challenging. Sabrina, before we go on to our topic, I mean, we were at a major conference, and I have come to the conclusion it is very hard to social distance and do what we do. It's just, the two they don't go together. They don't go together. COVID is real. And now they're talking about monkeypox. I watched something on TikTok where a doctor was saying, unlike COVID, where it could just be in the air, the monkeypox, you have to be in close proximity to someone. But California and Illinois have declared a state of emergency around monkeypox. New York has, or is about to. There's not enough.
New York has.
They have. I mean, we don't even understand it yet. But here we go again. And they say this has to do with being in close proximity. So, we thought it was just a sexually transmitted. It's not just that. He said somebody could be sitting behind you on a plane and could pass monkeypox. So, my husband tuned in and said China is after Taiwan because it historically was China. It is a strategic island in the South China Sea. Its relationship with the West is a threat to China. So, wow, it's just interesting. So how did you feel just being in that environment? I've gotten word that a couple of people that were in an intimate setting that I was in at my banquet were 3 roommates, and 1 tested positive. We've heard different things, and it's just, it's challenging. So talk a little bit about just COVID and, we can't walk in fear, but we got to continue to be vigilant.
Yeah. They told us early on that we have to learn to live with this virus. And I guess I am living that out loud right now. When they first said that, it was foreign to me. It's like, how do you learn to live with this virus? But that's what we're doing. That is exactly what we're doing. We're learning to live with it. We're going on with our lives. If you're boosted and vaccinated, I understand that the symptoms are milder and we don't have as many deaths and we don't have as many hospitalizations. However, there could still be long-term illnesses from you having COVID. Prayerfully, those who get it, who are boosted and vaccinated, it doesn't hit you hard and it passes through quickly. But we just left this conference and we're hearing already positive cases. Katrina, I know that at our conference, no one said that we had to wear masks. No one said that you have to social distance. So I'm not sure what living with it means. At the airports, you don't have to mask up. And I do know that people know that they're positive and they're still getting on airplanes. And so they're still going to the grocery stores. They're still going to work because you don't have to tell anybody. You have what you have. And so it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
And someone said, because of all of the home tests that have been given and the fact that we all are just carrying home tests, how many people are not even reporting it? Are the numbers really a lot higher than we think?
Of course, of course.
Go to these conferences and then you just never know. There's never a reporting of how many people really got COVID as a result. And so Essence Festival, you know, the AKA, our Boule, and now our conference, it's just real. So we are going to turn and talk about our topic when we come back, the power of affirmation, because words matter. We'll be right back. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for tuning in to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship, WFDF 910 AM, the Superstation. We appreciate you. Before the break, we were talking about all that's taken place in the world. We are just back from a major conference and we were talking about the news. Certainly feel free to call in if you have anything to comment on that first section, but we're going to dive into our topic, which is such an important topic. Our words have great influence in the lives of those around us, and spoken affirmations or blessings can bring hope, encourage, and self-esteem to our families, friends, and others. However, opportunities to genuinely affirm or bless others pass us by every day. No doubt all of us at some time have noticed someone who looked especially nice or who had done a great job on something and let it go unnoticed. And most of us know firsthand how deflating it can be to have accomplished something or gone out of your way for someone only to have it overlooked. Yet, if someone takes notice and says, wow, great job, we feel warm, appreciated, and validated. We feel good about ourselves and about the other person. It's something about those positive words. Positive affirmations empower us to risk and take chances and to be and do our very best. There's a little clip we're going to play later in the show, but it even talks about in the African American community the importance of changing the conversation and how it can shift our reality. So we're going to talk about it individually, but we'll even talk about the difference it makes as a whole community and for our nation and globally. It's not always the most natural response to speak out loud the good thoughts we have about others. In fact, it is often easiest to hold on to our judgment and criticisms instead. When we adjust our attitude, however, and focus on the positive traits in others, we will discover the truth. I love this quote. The glory of friendship is not the outstretched hand, nor the kind smile, nor the joy of companionship. It is the spiritual inspiration that comes to one when we discover that someone else believes in us and is willing to trust us. I mean, it's just so powerful. So today, let's make it a point to speak words that bless, encourage, inspire, and uplift. Let's focus on the positive qualities in our friends and praise them for their strengths. So, Sabrina, we're going to talk about it all, but I just want to talk about social media first. You are the one it's hard, y'all, because there's a lot happening on social media and it is so easy just to scroll and scroll and scroll. Sometimes you are scrolling because even on the commercial break we might grab our phone and see something. Sometimes you just really don't have the time, but one thing that you are so good at doing is not just a like but a comment. You just have a way with words, and so sometimes that's we as leaders, as influencers, our words matter, and even on social media. So talk about how you affirm people on social media.
That's, I sometimes I'm better than others, but I do make it a
Better than
point.
most.
I do make it a point to take the time, not just a like. A like is just a like. But when you take the time to comment, when you take the time to affirm in a great way, it makes people feel good. I mean, we were at our conference and a woman said, her leader said, "You are so pretty. You are so pretty." And she said she believed her and then went on to soar and become the top of her company. You think just a little simple comment like that, you guys, everybody, Mary Kay Ash, our founder, always said, of our company, always said, make me feel important. Everybody has a sign around them that says, make me feel important. And so for 34 years, 33 years, everybody wants to feel important, whether it be from a young child to a senior citizen. I mean, I have an 88-year-old aunt. When I tell you she loves to be affirmed, she loves to be affirmed. She really does. So from the youngest to the oldest, little children, when they come in and they show you their artwork and you say, wow, that's so beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Their eyes light up. And so from A through Z, people want to be affirmed, some more than others. So I just believe that the social media is a playing field. It's not going away. If you like it, give it like you like it. That's always been my motto. Give it like you like it. Take the time and give it. So I do make a time. Lynn Blow says, I like making a comment so that the person can see how I feel. And sometimes a person just needs a positive and honest word to encourage them. Words are make such a difference, you guys. So I do love words. My background is journalism, so they come pretty easily to me. And so I think it's a gift. And if you don't have that gift, work on it becoming a gift.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times the words are really all that's left. I mean, that's what I remember the most is the words of my grandmother. And I mean, people forget what you said, but they remember how you make them feel. That's what I hold on to. And so let's just talk about men for a moment. my husband, your husband, all of our husbands, they're really good at affirming their kids. My dad was amazing at affirming, and he didn't grow up with a mother, and he didn't have a great relationship with his dad. So his mother passed away when he was 8 years old. So a lot of times in the African American community, there's a whole lot of people, period, but especially men that haven't had a positive role model, maybe haven't had those positive words in their lives. But, I'm speaking to the brothers out there as well. There is nothing like the power of you, even if you haven't done it in the past, of just looking your child, your daughter, your son, grown, I don't care how old they are, or if you can't get to them on FaceTime, look at them in the eyes and telling them how powerful they are. Can you talk about Kenny and how good he is at that? He can't be a great coach without being a great affirmer. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I've watched Kenny over the years, and honestly, he really has gotten better over the years. I remember when we first got married, cards are so important. Greeting cards, the words, I read them, and he used to just give any kind of cards, and I was like, "No, brother, no. You need to spend a little more time in Hallmark and pick out the cards." And honestly, he gives better cards than me now. He really does. And so I think that matters, that you give cards that have great meaning, and because he's taken the time to pay attention to that. He's a better coach with his words. He's a better encourager because of he pays attention to the words. And so it's so funny because we both coach for a living. He is a physical wrestling coach, but he says, I tell you, so much of my work is mental as well as physical. So he could be in his office coaching after late hours, talking to an athlete, and I'm in my office coaching an entrepreneur, and then we meet in the hallway and say, you know what, we do the same thing, just in a different way. And so it makes it really fun. But it's important how you look somebody in the eye. It's important how you slow down. It's a rhyme and a rhythm to the words, that you don't talk fast all the time, that you slow the words down so that they can sink in. That it's the way that you touch someone. Well, this is before COVID, we could touch, that you touch them, you hold their hand while you're speaking to them. And I've seen him, honestly, young athletes, now older men with children, gone on to be medical doctors and owners of companies. They will always talk about how Coach Kenny Monday grew them up to be a man, how he taught them so much on the mat and off the mat, how he taught them to believe in themselves. Even if they weren't the best on the mat, he made them a better man. So I just believe, you guys, our words make a difference. I've seen it with my very own eyes. I know your husband, Anthony, is incredible with words, Katrina. That man knows he can work some words. Let's talk about Pastor Anthony Earl and his words.
Well, I'll tell you, the brother he will go to the papyrus store, wherever you get papyrus. Some of the stores have gone bye-bye, Things Remembered, and some of these other stores, but he takes a lot of time with cards, and he will write a book. And I have every card he's ever written for me. That is not my strength. But I tell you, he can write some cards specifically. And I recently talked about how he took it was supposed to be 8. It ended up being 4 widows to dinner that had lost their husbands, and he was friends with their husbands. And they just went on and on and on about the words. So he took the time to affirm each and every one of them. And it makes a difference. He does it for his kids, and he's constantly doing it. He is a pastor's pastor. And so, where do you go? Who motivates the motivator? Who speaks into your life? But I will tell you, you have to source that. If you don't have anybody who speaks into your life like that, you have to build the relationship. Gloria has been that for us. And Sabrina was fortunate enough to be recruited by Gloria. I am adopted, came on the scene, but I positioned myself to build that relationship. I sourced that relationship. It was a breakthrough. I know it was a godsend, but I did my part to build so that she would know my name, know who I was. And so it makes a difference. I want to challenge you. Who are you mentoring, and who is mentoring you that speaks into your life? I don't care what age or stage you are in your life. Everybody can have someone that's like that in their life. And so we're going to talk more about it. When we come back from the break, I'm going to play a little bit of a video. There's 5 love languages: quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch, and the fifth one is words of affirmation. I'm going to play a little bit of this video where this brother talks about the power of words of affirmation. We'll be right back. Give us a call if you have a comment. I know you're soaking it all in. 313-778-7600. We are back. We are back. We love the theme song. Thanks for tuning in to We Got Issues. And we're talking about the power of affirming words and the difference it makes. Sometimes you feel like you're running out of words. So I want to challenge you. Expand your vocabulary. Pick up a few different words other than awesome or great, just that allow you to say thank you. And so as I am constantly working on expanding my vocabulary, we want to appreciate and acknowledge this brother who makes such a difference for the force of friendship, the magnificent Marathon. Are you there? Are you there, Marathon? Are you still on hold? Are you there?
We're good, Marathon.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. I've kind of got a dilemma. I'm kind of working on some things as far as forgiveness from a brother and sister. I've asked for forgiveness, but they just want to hold on to what they want to hold on to. So it gets me down. But I gotta stay up.
Absolutely. You have to play your hand, and then what you have to do is release and pray for them. Because what God asks us to do is when we err, to go to that brother or to that sister, which is what you've done, and we pray that they will do the right thing and reciprocate. But Marathon, you are released. You cannot carry that burden. You absolutely cannot carry that burden. It is in their hands now, and all you're responsible for is your part. You can't do your part and their part. So we hope for reconciliation and pray for that forgiveness to be reciprocated. But we just encourage you, because we know just from the relationship we've built over the radio that your heart is in the right place and that you're genuine. And even though sometimes offense comes, the only thing you could do is apologize and check your heart position. And you know that your heart was in the right place. And you can't hold it and harbor it. Sabrina, what would you add to that when you just are?
That was great advice, Katrina. Great advice, Marathon. You Can't Break My Soul, Beyonce's new song. You've done what you can do. You live your life. You find joy in your life. I know there's pain. Find purpose in that pain and keep stepping. Don't let them steal your joy. You've done your part. What can I do when I've done all I can? It reminds me of that song, You Just Stand. And so you just know that you've done what you can do, Marathon, and continue to be prayerful, positive, and keep it moving. Don't let them and crank up Beyonce's song, You Can't Break My Soul, and find your joy.
So
Yes.
I understood, it's hard living with depression and bipolar. And I'm just not understood.
Yeah. And you know what? That's on them. So the main thing you have to do is better understand yourself, your condition, work on it, and do the best that you can do. Katrina and I are not always understood. Everybody's not for you, and you're not for everybody. I learned that a few years ago, and that was some good advice. Everybody's not for me, and I'm not for everybody.
And Marathon, we're going to play just about 3 minutes of what this brother, his name is Albaner C. Eugene, Albaner, Albaner C. Eugene. I'm only going to play about 3 minutes of it, but the last 5 minutes, he talks about the importance of words of affirmation. And he says, but how important it is for us not to expect the words from other people. We have to go to God for those words. And so, the other half, he really says, what do you do when you're just not getting the affirmation that you want from others? And so you might want to check him out on YouTube and go there. You guys, I want to repeat again, thank you so much, Marathon, for calling in. You always add so much to the show, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. I want to repeat these 5 love languages. We're talking today about the words of affirmation, which is one of them, but the other ones are quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And words of affirmation, it's my primary love language. I certainly know it is Gloria's primary love language. I think regardless what your love language is, words matter for everyone. Absolutely, some more than others. But I want you to hear a little bit of what Albaner C. Eugene, this is a little bit of what he says. He's talking about words of affirmation and the love language. Can you hit that for us?
Now, the second one that's really important is words of affirmation. And that's someone who desires to be loved simply by words, as in something simple as I love you, I'm proud of you, you're doing excellent, you're doing amazing, you're great, you're special. Those are just words of affirmation, validating words. And there are some people who show and receive love by those words. I am somebody who would definitely say, that's my primary. Another one of my primaries, I love to hear things like I love you, I'm here for you. Things like that. Those are amazing. Someone who is a words of affirmation person, it's interesting. Like for example, the difference between acts of service and words. Acts of service would be, I'm just gonna carry the groceries in, instead of saying, wow, look at you carry those groceries in, you're so great at that. It's like, okay, I need you to help me. But words of affirmation is more validating the work that I'm doing, validating me, just simply by your words. And again, I gave you an example for that. And this is really important. And something that's really important is you can get so tied up in what people say about you, that it can control the way you live, control the way you think, control how you see things, control your perspectives, control your mindsets. It can control your behavior, the way you dress. Literally, people's words can cripple you. Whoever said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt, that is a lie. Words can hurt you. Words are so crippling. I mean, the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those are our words, what we speak, what we say. This is crazy. Someone can literally say to you, yo, them shoes, they trash. You could like, I don't care what you're talking about. You could go home and you just look at them like, maybe you are a little, like, it's weird. Words literally can cripple your mind if you are a words of affirmation person, as in you show and receive love by words. And you're going to have a love tank. You're going to say, okay, was I loved enough today? As in, did I hear enough validating words over me? And that sounds crazy. And I think sometimes people look at the word validation in such a negative connotation, because there are people, in a sense, will do whatever it takes to get validation. But we're talking about from a secure place. If, again, you show and receive love this way, it is validating. There's nothing wrong with receiving validation. Everybody needs a healthy amount of validation. But again, the issue shows up when people's words are greater than God's word. And something that I found with words of affirmation is when I'm spending time with God, he always addresses me as son. And it never hit me how God literally tries to love me the way I need to be loved. He always addresses me as his son. And that's such an affirming word. Especially growing up in a sense with not having like a real close bond to my father. Like, I didn't realize how much I searched for things like, son, I'm proud of you. Son, I love you. Son, I support you. Son, you are amazing. You are my son. Those things are validating words, and it's almost like identity is tied to these words. You get what I'm saying? So it's like if a young man or a young woman goes throughout life without affirming words, when that's the way they need to be loved, they can literally search for love in all the wrong places. Someone, in a sense, who has a void in this area, in a sense, again, where that's not really, they don't have it, they're gonna go searching for it. So whatever anybody says, I'm gonna cling to. That's why, let's say a young lady,
That's
if a young man.
the first part of that is really good. And listening to the other part of that is what I was suggesting for Marathon, because he does really talk about you're only going to get so many words from others. No one can affirm you the way God affirms you. And so we have another caller, and it is the one who affirms me the most. And that would be my man, Dr. Anthony Earl is on the line. So Anthony, are you there?
I am here. So good this afternoon.
Thank you. Yes, it is still afternoon over here in California. You are so powerful at affirming others, and it's what you do. Words, you remind us of what God says, and God has just given you and blessed you, anointed your tongue to be able to affirm others. So can you talk about it?
The words are powerful. I think people don't realize that our existence is the result of words being spoken by our Creator. And so I think that people are unable to really affirm others because it's not in them. And we must learn how to do it. I had to learn how to do it. Proverbs 23 speaks about as a man thinketh, so is he. So our thoughts are the fruit of what is in our hearts. For the mouth speaks what our heart is full of. So when you love yourself, try to affirm yourself. How to affirm myself, and by affirming myself, I discovered freedom. It was my own personal emancipation from all of my bondages in my life that held me captive. So my wife, Katrina, helped me to step up my game. You helped me, sweetheart, to expand my orbit, to lift my orbit. And I think that is so important. It is not good for man to be alone. And God said and spoke that I would make for him a helpmeet. As I listened to Sabrina describe the process of her husband. And it is so true, because we were at the seminar in the suite and just talking. And he was sharing with me about this new opportunity that had been presented to him. And he said, we need a chaplain. And I'm listening to him. I said, local? You need a local? He said, whatever, man. And then later on, he mentioned to me the reason why he said that to me. Such affirming words. Just listening to him, listening to his process, watching how God is leading him on this journey. You can see it, looking at their son being in their element, their environment. You're just paying attention to it. And I know that this is the fruit of affirmations. everyone who's listening, just start with affirming yourself. Look in the mirror, speak to yourself. I mean, MJ told us, the man in the mirror. Learn how to speak positive words, because those words are powerful. Words are powerful. So I love
appreciate
it.
you.
Your face.
I appreciate
I have
you.
to prompt
I think
you
have
to call in from the other room, but he did.
I'm the one. I prompted him. I text him. I take full credit for that.
We appreciate you so much. We're going to another break, and so I appreciate you, and some more affirmation from my husband after the show. Get excited. We will be right back. 313-778-7600.
Excellent.
Alrighty. We are back. And so, Sabrina, we're talking about the power of affirmation, the power of words. I mean, we do it in public to the people we see as we are walking by. We talked about it on social media. We constantly are doing it with those we work with, those we mentor, with our spouses, with our kids, family. And then I love that my husband, Anthony, talked about the importance of starting with affirming yourself. So what do you want to add? How did you, I know from knowing you, I know it came from your daddy, from your mama. I know it goes way back. How did you get good at it? Or can you just talk about what else would you add about if this is an area you really want to work on for those that it doesn't come natural?
Yeah, I think your husband, Dr. Anthony Earl, hit the nail on the head when he said some people don't have it within them. I never really thought about that. I thought it comes easy. Just speak a good word into somebody's life. But he made me think it's not that simple. You have to like yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to have something good to say about yourself before you can see it in others. And so I just think everybody's just got to take a pause for the cause every day. Affirmation, write an affirmation for yourself. Whether in the morning, what do you say when you wake up to yourself? I'm great. I'm becoming better every day. God loves me. I mean, these are simple 3-letter sentences, 3-word sentences that make a difference. Once you start affirming yourself, writing them down on little note cards, speaking them every day, 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, 3 times in the evening, if you really want to get good at it. Because what you say to yourself speaks so loudly. You do it often, then it's going to become just a part of who you be. When you start saying it to yourself, it's going to be easy to share with others. It's going to be easier to give a compliment. It's going to be easier for it to roll off your tongue. I mean, but when you're full of hatred, when you're a gossiping type, when you don't see any good in anybody and anything, that's who you be. And people, that's an ugly way to live. Nothing good is going to come from that. And so I just think it's an intentional, conscientious effort to talk good to yourself and to talk good to others. It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. I mean, in an airport, if I see a sharp woman, if I like a dress, if I like her glasses, if I like his shoes, I'm going to say, hey, brother, those are some sharp shoes. And he has a big smile on his face. A woman, you look so good walking through the airport. It makes me feel good when I make others feel good. It really does.
Absolutely. One of our girlfriends, Robin Barnwell, talked about 369. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, write an affirmation down 3 times. At 6 p.m., write it down 6 times. And at 9 p.m., write it down 9 times. And that may sound real corny, but you watch and see some things. Go as far as setting an alarm on your phone. And it could be very simple. I feel pretty. I added a new affirmation. I build wealth daily was a new thing that I added. And it just 369. There's an app that I love that I've talked about before called Think Up. And it gives you examples. You can add music to it and you can just speak an affirmation with your own voice, or someone that you really love can put that in there, because it really does come from you. When you feel good about yourself, it's going to be easy to feel good about others. We're going to play this last clip, giving them a second to get it tuned up. And this one talks about the collective consciousness of the African American community, the power of words and affirmation. And so I really appreciate what he shared. This is Darren Freedom Green on affirming others. And so we're sharing a little bit of that, starting right at the 2-minute and 5-second time. So here we go.
We're not only focused on doing that, guess what we're not doing? We're no longer competing, because I find that to be a big problem in our communities too. We're constantly at competition with each other. I don't want to compete with anyone. I want to be a supreme complement to everyone. And if I can help and assist in whatever it is you're doing, or whatever it is you were born to do, then I'm being successful. And I think when you do that from a personal perspective, you can collectively and comprehensively deal with the systems you talked about, which aren't going anywhere. They're strategically built into America's DNA. We're always going to be fighting capitalism. Capitalism roots people into being property or people. And I found when you affirm people to be themselves and to be profound in being the people themselves, they'll move from being property to being people. And when you move people from being inanimate to being adamant, and also tie the emotions to that, you make people find their humanity. And in their humanity is their sanity. And when we find that, we'll have peace. And that's what the storm was happening on the boat. If you remember the biblical story, the trouble was the storm was around them, but they had lost their faith. And I try to fortify people's faith without being religious, but in themselves, in their gift, in their ability. And when I'm done talking to you and I've affirmed all who you are, I can say, peace, be still.
Yes,
That was so
yes,
good. I would love that
yes,
brother to come
yes,
on the show. If
brother.
anybody knows Derek,
Yes,
we
yes.
got a lot of storms, right? We got a lot of storms we need to calm, and unbelievable the ability to calm a storm just with your words. I mean, just
Yes.
powerful, powerful. Some closing comments, Sabrina, on affirmations. What would I mean? You affirm Rio. We see Rio in the background. That's why he always
I
wants
do,
to be around
I
you.
do, I do. Seriously. You heard him say yes. He heard me get excited. He comes running in. He thinks I'm going to affirm him. Look at him. He's so hungry for it, y'all. The dog even likes affirmations. His tail is wagging. It is amazing. The spoken word, you guys, is so important. Use it or lose it. If you don't use positive, powerful words, they just dissipate into thin air and you don't feel the power. Use them, my friends. They make a difference.
It's and there is I know as we dig deeper in scripture we can understand it, but there's just some stuff we won't understand till the by and by. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, I did a conference with her, and she literally talked about how you could have two plants and water them the same, give them the same everything, and you can walk up to one plant and say you're dead, you're dying, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and go up to another plant. I love you, I appreciate you, and it literally, one plant will die because of the word, y'all. I mean, that's crazy. But so the words
I don't
are
know. Wait a minute,
literally
Katrina.
manifesting.
You done gone too far, because I came back from my trip and two of my flowers are dead, and I ain't spoke nothing bad to those plants. I speak to them all good. Now you
Well,
lying now.
I said they need some water and some sun. Okay, let's don't get it twisted. All right, but maybe you can raise it from the dead. You better go over there and tell them plants. Okay.
Okay.
But
Touch 'em,
it's just
baby. Touch 'em.
crazy, the power of words, what we will never know. So
Yeah.
you know what, I know this is the We Got Issues radio show, but we're just going to give you a little assignment today. Who can you affirm? Who can you call and affirm? Who can you affirm as you walk by? Who do you need to actually put pen to paper and write a note to? Write 3 names down, and I guarantee you it can make a difference. Even to our brother Marathon, just continue to love and be affirmed, not expecting anything in return. And you just never know. One day that apology and acceptance just may come. But you are perfect in God's eyes, regardless of what other people say. We appreciate you and we love you. And guess what? We're going to be back live tomorrow. We will see you right here. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. Peace.